Okay. Alright. Now, of course, my controller's not working. So, we have to actually restart the app. Because, it couldn't work the first time. That would not be allowed. Because it's an old emulator thing. It's because this is not like a completely modern Windows app. So it has to... Are the bottom and top screen kind of separated on OBS? What the hell? They shouldn't be. Oh wait, I have them locked. Oh, yeah, they aren't touching. I didn't realize that. That's kind of weird. Or either that or one of them is the wrong size. Whatever, it's fine. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay, good. Alrighty. Streaming? Yes. Great. March 15th, 12:07 a.m. Theatrum Neutralis lobby. So now we know who the Yatagratsu really was. And yet there remains much more to this case that needs to be resolved. Like how the weapons crossed country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. But before we do, I'd like to go through my evidence once more. Okay, let's go look at that then. Badge. Okay, guide. Okay, seems fair enough. Great. Kochin's dead. Cool. The Alabastinian knife. The blade was real, the handle was not? Or have we solved that now? Yatagratsu's key/knife. The Babal's Primitive statue. Which is actually Alabast's, but it was just in Babal at the time. And it's real. Like, the Alabast one is real and happens to be a Babal. That's what this means, which is really weirdly worded. Document relating to smuggling, counterfeit bills. They were all burned up in Babal. Oh, what? Request to Damask to steal the Primodex statue, which matches Manny Kochin. Has this broken spear been used? He said he threw out all the useless evidence, so this is gonna come back in some way. And this is the fake Babalese statue that was in Alabast. Again, because of two large flowers, the vines are supported and still growing. Why does that matter? Samurai dogs. Edgeworth, are you sure you threw out all the useless evidence? Pick, fountain spouts, photo, fires, wire, revolving fireplace wall, hair sticks, trump card. What? Okay, that's super helpful. Evidence from KG8 card contains orders from boss with smuggling ring. Oh. Ernest Amano had it stolen. Have we looked at this yet? Didn't we just get this? The KG8 incident. This was the case in which the unwitting CCU was murdered, when she was to expose the connection between the Amano group and the smuggling ring. This was also when the group the Yatagratsu was first formed. Are the events of this case connected to that case from 10 years ago somehow? Okay, so that's everything. Great, that was very useless. Hey, there's a VCR here, sir. Now we can see what's on that tape Detective Bad gave. Oh. Yeah, okay, fair enough. This piece of evidence from the KG8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us. Sure thing, sir. This man, it's Manny Kochin. And he's holding a knife in his hand. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance of an apartment building? An apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on KG8. And the crime scene was the victim's own apartment. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment. At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes, somehow someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it. But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage of the ringleader. Where? Where? Wait, what was that? Huh? That bit you played just now. Please show it to me again. Edgeworth, you're gonna have to do a play-by-play for us, because... That's a Cadopian car. Or a... I don't even know which one it is. Hang on. That's an Alabastinian car. Because look at the flag. Oh wait, is that even the right flag? No, it's not. Red is in the center. Wait, what? Oh, is it the flag of the two joined countries? Probably. I don't know if I have a picture of that, though. I don't think I do. It's probably the flag from when the countries were still together. Yeah. This car, this is something we cannot overlook. Why is that, sir? Take that! This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we have to know this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there? Ah, Miss Vodka! I've changed this guy's voice literally every time. Ah, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth, so you were here all this time. What am I even doing? Ambassador Alba. Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. Ah, only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I'm truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This had nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot, Cassius. You couldn't chase after a simple thief. I hope this guy doesn't talk for that long. Now let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? I heard you apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. And we're in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel. But we must finish our investigation and resolve remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastinian and Babalese police? Ambassador, we are so close, just a little more and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? That's true, however... Yo, what up, Kitana? Sorry, interrupting the video, very excited. Gotta... Is that a popcorn emoji? Sorry, excuse me. I'll focus. As you said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastinian soil. In which case, we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends? Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way. Who's Shifu? What the... Woo! What was this guy's voice again? Yo. It was like bad Southern, I'm pretty sure. Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? Because I have to solve this case no matter what. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. And don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Under the circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They're quite capable. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Oh! Ambassador Alba, I get it now, I really do. Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. You... know... the... killer? What? Do you really mean that, Agent? Oh god, this guy's gonna keep talking. Okay, I gotta get my bad Irish. Hang on, my bad Irish British is what I'm kind of going for with him. Heh, wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Sheena. Exclamation point. Langzy says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask 2's killer? I'll tell you who. It was you, Franziska von Karma. I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible. Yeah. Although, that whip is actually quite... Yow! Hold your tongue in that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right? Yes, he did, but what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabast and Bal, didn't you not?
Objection!
And where's your evidence that I'm the killer? I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show him to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good, then let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset, not that I blame her. Hello, I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that.
Hold it!
Agent Lang, as somewhat related to tonight's case, I request you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabast yet. If you like Kayan, then you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and ready to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Laughing! Sounds like this is gonna get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind, this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. March 15th, 12:53 a.m. Alabastinian Embassy, Ambassador's Office. Okay, now, let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over in the Secretary's office in Babal. The weapon that took his life was one of the Alabast ornamental knives. And then, the body of Damas II, Mr. Kashinu. Kashinu? What's the pun there? It doesn't even have his name. It matters so little. We've just been calling him Damas II. Was found here in the Alabastinian Ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was this Prima Duck statue. And that this is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it... Sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off.
Objection!
Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you are saying? Of course I do, sis, and I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. And so while people were distracted by the Autograph's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that of the thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire. Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons? Don't worry, I plan to show that you're the culprit behind that too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Hey now. Look, sis, I thought I already told you, I'm not messing around here. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring. But Sheena certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. He is right in saying that she's a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring, could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Grr. Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already. Franziska, you need to calm down. Because you only know the facts of the Alabastinian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it. Yeah. That's the only person who's ever blocked her whip before. What? But don't worry, I'm taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the movement weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damas II. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damas II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation. No! Not only will my sister go to prison, but I won't be able to investigate. No! I didn't care about the first part at all. As long as I have no good counter-arguments to his hypothesis. Then the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Oh, good to hear, Edgeworth. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Yes, let's. Border crossing weapons. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin. And the murder weapon in the killing of Damas II is Babal's Prima Duck statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one to traverse the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Franziska will remain a suspect? You got it, Mr. Prosecutor, so why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, what I've learned from you just now is that you lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on what is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Lang Z never said anything to that effect. You prosecutor, who do you think you are speaking about Lang Z's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs. Because my words are all you need to see the truth. I think I already have an idea. True. That's also true. That's not... I was gonna go for chimneys. But do I still have the chimney piece of evidence? I don't think so. I think I might have gotten thrown out. And this tape contains Kochin entering the apartment and a Kadopian car pulling up. So smuggling ring related, probably. Oh wait, no, Kadopia is not running the smuggling ring. It's, shoot, I can't remember now, but it's some other country. Wait, it's a Kadopia? Yeah, it is. Hang on, no, I was wrong. So yeah, Kadopia is running the... Okay. In the Babalese embassy, there was an Alabastinian knife with a Babalese thing. Why give me documents if I can't look at them? Wait, is that true? That's the only thing that I can think of that could be... Like, it's these two things, because the other things he says are just straight up facts. Actually, wait, isn't this not true? Was Franziska really the only person to have traveled between the two countries? According to the guards of Old Thor, she's the only one to go back and forth. The sis there was in Alabast when the Yadgaratsu showed. And then just before you guys found Mr. Kochin's body, she entered Babal. I think we can assume that that's when she brought the knife into Babal. But the knife was already used to kill somebody. What? Then how do you explain the Primadux statue? I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves that the killer must have also traveled across the country lines. The only things across the border are the Primadux statue and the knife? I should hardly think those are the only two items, Agent Lang. Wait, why? What? Am I missing something? The only thing I can think of is the other Primadux statue, but I assume that's not what the game wants. Didn't we have just, like, the knife part of one of them? I'm gonna try it, because I have no other ideas. Okay, well, that's stupid. Agent Lang, these two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. Oh? Damask was killed with Babal's Prima Duck statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabast's Prima Duck statue go? To Babal? Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. It's such a technicality. I guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter to the number of items, only that the sis is the only one who could have done it. Yeah, exactly. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabast and Babal is her. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person. One who paid a visit to both sides of the wall. Is that really so, Agent Lang? What a lousy time to try and bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guards said, along with the security camera footage. You're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily. But suppose there was some other way other than through the theater doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. If I pointed out, it would open up a whole new possibility. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as the entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. Is he about to pull out the photo where the freaking Damask is like flying? It looks like you got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. Oh god. Fine then. Let's see this piece of evidence that'll show me the other route. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Agent Lang, I'm sure you're familiar with this unforgettable photo. My god, this game stretches the definition of evidence. That supernatural photo, like I said before. Humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And don't start claiming that Sheena somehow grew wings, either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you said, either. I'll say it again, it's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. Arg. But how can I prove who it was that flew through the air in this photo? Wait, not humanly possible. Eureka! Very well. You'll have your explanation. Sounds like you have a good idea simmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is... is it the fucking statue? Is it the fucking statue? It's the only, like, mildly human-shaped thing, right? Wait, hang on. There's no way! Hang on, which was the one that went from- wait, hang on. I don't know which statue that would be, though. I think this one. Because he's going from right to left, right? So he would be taking... He'd be taking the Babal statue to... Okay, so it's this one, then. Take that! Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object, the Prima Duck statue replica. You can't be serious. I can't believe it either. The Yatagarasu, or rather, Callisto Yu, dressed as Agent Sheena, was inside Babal. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Ah, Mr. Prosecutor! You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air? And how exactly did she do that? He is literally barring his fangs at me. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? Demons! As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier? Hey sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech. Oh god, excuse me, sorry. He called you into his office, right? So just before the murder of Franziska was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then that might be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Ow, what are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. Yeah, I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. Ha, do you really think a criminal would tell us the honest truth? How dare you? As I've said numerous times, there's absolutely no proof that I am the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time. Which is why I would like to hear about your movements in this room. Franziska, I feel that I still don't have enough information. Which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. Alright. So, what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify to your movements in this room until the murder occurred. Alright, let's try it your way for a change. But if what she has to say turns out to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl, no! As you wish. Movements in Alabast. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastinian embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Franziska, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way that I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Franziska about her testimony in more detail. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty at I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastinian embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai, I returned to the Rose Garden. The primitive statues were already switched by the time the murder happened. In light of that fact, what Franziska saw in this room before the crime is of incredible importance. What? At that time, Damask-2's body had yet to be found in this room, is that correct? That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence. A criminal will say anything to get out of getting arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like I keep telling you. When I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill, watering his plants. I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office. Grr. Alright then. Add that statement to your testimony. Here we go. So Ambassador Alba was in this room at the time, was he? So did he hide the body? For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on the side, however the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Is that not correct? I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him. But fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He'd obtained them himself, and is growing them with the utmost care, you know. Yes, the plants in this room, they're all like my children. The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully, too. All 4 of them are in full bloom. All 4. Miss Von Karma, what did you say just now? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement you don't understand? What do I not understand? And do I... What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Oh, were there 4 large flowers? No, there weren't. I just looked at it a second ago, game. Franziska, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way. Ha, I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your word, sis. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this? Yes, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir. Eek! All I've done is state what I saw. I have made not a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I am still under suspicion for murder. Is that the number of flowers really all that important at this juncture, Miles? At the very least, it is a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Ha, then let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine the flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy. They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. I can't even... British. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. Not even British. I understand. Okay, so there is in fact 2. Oh my gosh, 2 of them were stolen. This patch of soil looks as though it has had something removed from it. Ah, what are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clam up all of a sudden? I'm still here waiting for an explanation, you know. Did you know, Agent Lang, flowers are best appreciated in silence? Tch. Looks like things were pulled out of this flower box. 2 flowers, probably. Ho-ho. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they are actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports. Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only 2 here to me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you. Ah, Miles Edgeworth. Hurry up and shut this man up for me already. I suppose I need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight, but I highly doubt it'll last until the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see this evidence. Oh! Dirt on the tips!
Take that!
Oh. Sheena, who was supposed to be mobile the entire time, had these hair sticks on her that look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. Heh, and so what? Is that really all that important to the case? Of course it is. It means that we found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight. Ayaha! Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabast. But somehow they wound up in Sheena's hands, who was in Babal the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and statue. Ah. Very well, Dan. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal. How did these support sticks find their way to Babal, and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there. Well, it's because Sheena was there. What? Did we not just say that? Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. It's just another stick, isn't it? And so it is, but the shape of the support sticks is what's important. For when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. What? Is it the crossbow? Are they supposed to be arrows? That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not really suggesting... I am. These hair sticks, or rather, plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows. Hiya. I've done it. I found the common thread that connects the two offices. But this thread is yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explanation how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? There must be a common thread that ties all these things together. Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. So Babal's statue was draped in the Yatagarazu's clothes and then shot over here. Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the Prima Duck statues didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? The Prima Duck statues didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. I feel so much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The Prima Duck statues flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. So Babal's statue was draped in the Yatagarazu's clothes and then shot over here. Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to them. Okay, so what did they do instead of sprout wings? They needed some other way to fly.
Objection!
Really?
Hold it!
The statues didn't need wings to fly. Then how would you explain things? I'm almost looking forward to whatever fantastical explanation you come up with.
Hold it!
Of course, and I assure you that my hypothesis is firmly grounded in reality. Ah, well, I'm all here in fantasy of a desperate man. At times, even reality itself can be a mysterious thing. Even you must admit that. Heh, do I? If so, then it's true, then why don't you go ahead and show me? Mr. Edgeworth, I think I understand what went sailing through the air. I suppose that's because you're an expert at things that fly through the air. What did you expect from the second Yatagarazu? Indeed, now to show Agent Lang what really went soaring through the air tonight. Wait, what? So Babal's statue was dropped, and then if you shot the arrows from this side... I really thought it was the wire. What went flying? Yeah. Okay, one sec. I'm on the right track? So I don't need to present the wire, because that didn't work, but... What? Okay, can you give me a hint without, like, spoiling it? Like, any more than I already have, I guess? Like, they clearly... I assume they just, like, swung using the wire, right? Oh man, I hate this game's logic sometimes. Okay. They didn't fly. And we didn't shoot them, because that's impossible. Oh, did we shoot the wire? That makes more sense, I guess, than swinging it, but... Still, that feels like I would have had to present the wire, no? Really? Oh my god. Huh. What? Even if you fired from this, the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them.
Hold it.
But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself will reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusions, it's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statue. Yes, I know! Oh my god, are you freaking kidding me? I hate this game. Are you kidding me? Yeah, finally indeed, Edgeworth, my god. Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. I get it now, Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Cochran's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Albustinian Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Babylonis Embassy. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. If what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alabaster Prima Duck statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then, what about Babal's Prima Duck statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Going in the opposite way of gravity, from the 3rd floor of the Babylonis Embassy, up to the 5th floor of the Albustinian Embassy. How do you explain that? Aha, I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick work. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head? Motion? What motion? Rotary, I guess? It's not swinging, and it's not bungee. I believe it was done via rotary motion. If the two statues were transported simultaneously... Get real. The statues would collide somewhere along the way. Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two offices? If you shot an arrow with the two ends of the wire attached to it, a circular belt can be formed. Lang Zi says, don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Taking into account the tension difference between the two wires, the top one would sag to the point where the statues would collide anyway. Agent Lang. As you know, the Prima Nook statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure. The real one was solid, the hollow, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Lang Zi says, here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mysterious co-conspirators sent themselves up in the two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to a ball where it was to be disposed of. Oh. And to do that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock, QED. Ha 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 ha. Grr. This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer? Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there's no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I've laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there's one more piece of evidence. One more? This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that'll turn your hypothesis into fact? Well then, let's see, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire. Okay, well... I have absolutely no idea. What? I believe that it is right here in this very room. What? Oh, the sphere? Saw it, yeah.
Take that!
Oh no, the fan. I'm stupid. I am Von Karma, and I have a name to uphold. I refuse to accept anything that is less than perfect. I guess I was mistaken. Yeah, it was the fan.
Take that!
Ha! Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. The last piece to the trick are two pulleys. Precisely, the ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there's one installed in each of the offices, ceiling fans made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. Ahoo! This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. Ha ha ha. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastinian and Babylonie's offices. And that passion flower support stakes could use as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case? Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food. Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do? A single point of the finger here in this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now, but to rush in. There's a piece of evidence that will point us to who this mysterious mastermind is. What? So it's what's his name, obviously, but
Take that!
this smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from this very flower box in this room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big. That Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person had very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So, as you may have already guessed, the person I'm accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus, it can only be you, Caracus Alba.
Then if I need anything from you all.
Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth?
Well, let me dig into that.
I'm certain of what I'm saying, and I'm sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there's one thing that stands out to me that's very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. The tape, I assume.
Take that!
You want us to examine this? Yes, for I believe that by examining it, we will finally have all of our answers.
Not so fast!
Lang Zi says, items that become evidence should never have any part overlooked. All evidence related to this case are fine and don't need to be examined again.
Working from home, so it's easy.
Wait, what?
I just take everything.
Most of the evidence has already undergone intense scrutiny. Oh god, I didn't save. Oh my god. Oh god. What hasn't been investigated? Is it this? Oh god, I should look this up. I do not want to mess this up. I'm pretty sure it's the card, but I'm not risking this one. I don't have a save. Ooh, DS Emulator is struggling. Oh my god, apparently there's a bad ending if you fail this area.
Take that! Not so fast!
Oh god. Are you kidding me? It isn't that? What? Present the wire, press the ceiling fan, present the crossbow arrow or the passion flowers. If the statue in Alabasta is a real deal, why swap it for a fake? Oh, what? Oh my god. Why did he need to change the statues? I don't know, because he didn't want the real statue being ruined by blood? Although I don't think we'll ever be meeting again. What? Now then, please respect the request of the ambassador of the Kingdom of Alabast. And vacate the premises. Oh my god. Guys, the game's over. And also I have to go through all of this crap again. Thus the truth was lost for all eternity. How depressing. Well, that's the game, guys. Oh my god, I cannot be bothered going through all this. I'll do it later. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, but I am not doing all that again. I need to make way more. This is why I like the modern versions of these games, because you have like 10 save slots. I can just save after like every question. Alright. Well, next time. Part 23. How is there still, by the way, in the walkthrough, we're on part like 5-5. There's 2 more parts. There's 5-6 and 5-7. What is left to happen? I genuinely don't get it. Okay. Whatever. Bye-bye.